amazing work last year. We really appreciate your day in and day out love for the library, your volunteer service. And even if you're paid and this is your job, your 5 million hours working for the library does not go unnoticed. So I'm glad Oscar was just sharing he had a chance to go to Julian the other day. So that's good to get out in the elements. Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve the December 1st meeting minutes.
I move to approve the meeting minutes. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. It's January.
Thank you, Commissioner Hanson. Do I have a second to approve the meeting minutes?
I'll second that.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner Simons. I can't speak either. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, great. The minutes are accepted as submitted. Do we have any requests for continuance? Any non-agenda public comments? Okay, normally we would go to our Friends of the Library report. I don't see our friends on yet. So if it's okay with you, can we go to you, Patrick, for the foundation report?
Absolutely, and Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
I'll make this quick, 3 quick updates. One, we have begun, thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Joan. We have put our Libraries Transform SD library advocacy machine in motion. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, we sent a joint letter from Wendy, myself, and Joan Reese to each of the city council members, outlining some requests that we hope that they include in their budget priority memos, which are due to the IBA's office on, Charlie is having a hard time getting in, which goes to the IBA's office next Friday. And then we will, to that note, the second thing I wanted to update you all on, we will be hosting, again virtually, a watch party for the State of the City address on Wednesday evening, starting at 5:45 with opening remarks from Wendy, Joan, and myself. The Mayor's State of the City address then will begin at 6. And just like last year, you do not, if you plan to join us, you do not need to leave our Zoom room. It will broadcast directly through there. And then, what did we notice last year? Being the first virtual one, it was wonderful seeing all of the comments and stuff in the chat and all of the support that everyone has for our library. And then finally, I wanted to say, our end of the year fundraising efforts have gone remarkably well. And I bring this up for 2 reasons. One, and I think I mentioned this the last time that we met, one of the joys that we have is getting to communicate the value and the impact, and frankly, the joy that the library brings to your supporters. And they love hearing these stories. They love understanding where their support goes. And they love knowing that they are supporting, their friends and neighbors and their ability to be able to use the library and reap the library's benefits. And so that is one, that is really great. But 2, it allows us to raise extra money. At the beginning of each fiscal year, Misty and Raul, myself, and a few others, we sit down and we identify, what the projects are that the foundation has the capacity to be able to fund and support throughout the year. But as we all know, as with any business, July 2nd rolls around and new things pop up. And so, when our fundraising capacity grows, it gives us the opportunity to support some of those new initiatives that you may not have known were coming down the pike in the spring beforehand. And one of those that we're really proud to be able to support is it's like staff development training, being able to create more opportunities for more staff to attend conferences, things like that. And so I just want to thank all of you, as I know that each of you are supporters of your library through the foundation, and it gives us a lot of pleasure in being able to support new initiatives, new projects, things that we may not have thought of, that Misty and her team are able to roll out to the community. So with that, thank you. We have been working diligently on, again, on fundraising, communicating, and the value and the power of the libraries, and we'll continue to do so into 2022. If there aren't any questions, that's my report.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Patrick, thank you. And the advocacy postcards and the work that's been coming out of the foundation is just really, really amazing. So kudos to you and your team. Quick question for those of us that dropped the ball and didn't make our end of year gift quite in a timely manner. I would assume you're still taking donations.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Year round.
Year-end is just a phrase.
If you haven't yet had a chance to make a donation, or you want to make your first donation of the year, I think that's a really valid point about these unexpected opportunities that arise, that come your way. Feel free to log on to the library website, Library Foundation website, and make a gift of any amount. It's always appreciated. But thank you, Patrick. Kudos to the foundation for an incredible year last year, making many things possible that the library hopes and wishes to do. So,
Thank you.
Great report. I know some folks are having some technical difficulties logging in. I don't see our friends yet. So if everyone is okay, maybe we will keep rolling over to our consent agenda and move forward with our report on library construction projects.
Okay, so Raul is one of the ones who's having trouble getting in. So I will take a swing at this. So we are, we're moving forward on the construction project, Pacific Highlands Ranch, as we know, had to go back out to bid. So we're looking at probably a spring timeframe for them to choose a contractor, and then would be in the, probably late summer to early fall groundbreaking. So that is going to be behind schedule a little bit, about 6 months. Always know that they put, a little bit of padding in. So we're still hoping that it'll be open by 2024. So Ocean Beach is moving forward. We're going to do some community outreach with Ocean Beach in February timeframe. So have some kind of focus groups and meetings with the community. Oak Park, we're waiting on the final, approval of the grant from Oak Park to fully fund this first portion, which is getting it out to bid and, getting some design firms. They want to do a community-based design competition for that, which is the same type of process we did for San Ysidro and Skyline. And that's where you have designers that, compete in front of the community, and the community votes on which design they like best. And so that's the process that we're going to move forward with that one. And we do have a meeting with the Friends group, the Oak Park Friends, on Monday to discuss the process so far. So everything is looking really good. San Carlos, they had a San Carlos event a couple of weeks ago. Raul attended. I was out of town. He attended. The mayor was there. Councilmember Campillo was there. And they feel, this is Councilmember Campillo's #1 priority is to get San Carlos built. So he is still very much committed to that. And I know that the mayor feels strongly about getting this project complete, but we do have to wait. They're a little behind on development services, is a little bit behind on kind of finishing up everything with the remediation so that we can actually purchase the property and get moving on that. So I think in a nutshell, I think that's what it is. So, and hopefully they'll get back on here since Raul is kind of the star of the show today.
Okay, that was great. Thank you for filling in, Misty. Do you want to keep on going?
Yeah. I'll keep on going. So the COVID, so just for an update, there's really not a lot. We're just getting back into the swing of things in January after the holidays. The biggest impact that we have right now is COVID. We are getting more and more positive cases, more exposures on a daily basis. And so we're monitoring it very closely of what the service impacts are going to be if we get to, kind of critical staffing levels where we may have to close locations temporarily. hoping that we don't get there. We are going to pull back on some of the big programs that we're having. We're going to kind of limit the things that we're doing just to try to get through this next few weeks. The city has gone back, to if people can work from home, having them work from home. As you know, library can't really do that. But we're just, like I said, continuing to kind of stay on top of it to make sure we don't get, we're in critical staffing situation anyway. And so the loss of anybody for 5 to 10 days is a huge hit. So we'll definitely keep you updated if we have to change any service levels. Patrick mentioned State of the City being next week. We're also working on the mandatory vaccine for all employees. We're very fortunate in that all of our employees did what they needed to do. They responded if they were vaccinated or not. If they were not vaccinated, they did submit for their reasonable accommodation. And so that's the next step. Is that part for those staff that have submitted for an exemption, is to work through that. So we hope to have a better understanding of what that's going to look like by the end of the month. The special events, there's one thing I do, and I'll bring it back to you and put it on the agenda when I get some more information. But one thing that we've been looking at is in operations is how do we better operate. And one of the things that we had looked at when we first opened the Central Library was having a property manager for the building, and then also kind of contracting out the special events piece. At the time, the administration did not want to pursue that. They wanted it to be completely in-house. And so we've done that. We hired a special events team. It's a small but mighty team. And the unfortunate thing is we just do not have the capacity to meet all of the demand from the community. We're getting more and more. We saw this pre-COVID. As things are starting to open back up, we see more and more people wanting it. It's difficult to have events when we're closed on holidays and things like that. So we're really not able to use it to the full capacity. So there's a couple of things that we've been looking at. One is exploring contracting out that piece. So contracting out the big outside events, the corporate events, the weddings, all of those that are external events, and having a special events management team, outside firm do that. I have a meeting with the convention center in a couple of weeks to talk to them about how they handle their special events and kind of get some input from them. The other part is looking at, do we hire a special events coordinator in-house and then revamp how we're doing that internally? So I have a discussion with Boston Public Library actually tomorrow. They have they do a lot of special events at Boston Public, have a pretty extensive special events program. And so I'm going to talk to them about just how they staff it, how they maximize revenue. And what their capacity for events is. So when I get that information, I'll bring that all back to you, and would really look for, your input and your recommendation for how we would move forward on that.
Might be worth looking into the Padres as well. I know they're doing the staffing, special event staffing for the show.
That's a great idea. Thank you, Ben. I'll touch base with them as well.
And that seems to have worked out so far.
Yeah, I'm really interested. It's tricky because we do have so many internal events as well. So it's kind of tricky on how we would balance that and still maintain the access for city departments and library programs. But really being able to just expand how much. I mean, there's only so much capacity that our staff have. I can't work them, 80 hours a week. And that job, they easily could do that with the demand that we have for the spaces. So
I think it's great you're looking at other options, because you can only get if staff is already stretched so thin, it's like and special events are so time consuming and laborious that you really need to have a focused person or team. So I wish you well. And I always think it's great how you benchmark against other similar organizations, because it's not a new idea or a new challenge or a new opportunity. I just,
and they've done a phenomenal job, in the years that they've been doing it. It's just that we keep continuing to see the demand go up. And it's not only the demand, but it is, what clients want. It's the level of kind of, and there is a lot of very intensive work that they do sometimes, especially with weddings and things like that. So we want to make sure that either they have the resources they need, or, we have someone else do it. Because I've got plenty of internal programming and everything that we could, use that team for. So. The other thing that I just want as part of my update, and I think she is also having technical difficulties and may not. Oh, there she is.
I have no idea how I got here or what I did to make it happen, but I made it.
Great. So Jennifer Jenkins is the new Deputy Director for Customer Experience. Her first day was actually the 27th that she took over that role. She was previously the supervising librarian for the Central Library and also District 3 branches, Mission Hills, University Heights, and North Park. She's been with San Diego Public for 6 years now, coming from South Carolina. So Jennifer, you want to just say hello and a little bit about yourself?
Hi, everyone. It is super great to be here. I am really excited to be here as a panelist. I've attended these as the public, so it's really nice to be here to see all your faces and to meet you virtually. Like Misty said, I am originally from South Carolina and worked for 2 different county systems in South Carolina before I basically stalked Misty and followed her across the country to land in San Diego Public Library. And I'm never going back. I really love it here. I really love what I do. And I have a focus on equity, diversity, and inclusion programming. I have a background in youth services, branch management, you name it, I've done it when it comes to public libraries. So I'm looking forward to this new challenge and my new position and supporting the work that you all do as our Board of Commissioners. And we thank you so much for your support.
Thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer's going to be over the DICE team, so she's over all of the programming. Also, Read San Diego. She will be over the new Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Program Manager when we hire that position, and she still will remain over Central and the District 3 branches.
welcome, Jennifer. And I also wanted to welcome our other guests. I know there were some technical glitches happening in the universe that prevented a lot of people from joining until just now, but just not to worry, it happens. And Trisha was keeping us updated that you were all diligently trying to log in, and Raul and Bob and Charlie and Jennifer. So not to worry, we're just glad you made it safely into the stratosphere. Bob is here too. You're probably roaming around in the lint dryer somewhere, but Misty gave a great report and she just said y'all are doing great. So thank you, Misty, for filling in. That's when you know Misty has a lot of things in her brain. She's like, I think I know about 90% of what everybody's doing, but great work, everyone. Again, not to worry. Many people having challenges. And Anne, good to see you as well. Misty, do you want to keep rolling? Or Anne, I'm not sure if you have the Friends report or if that's Joan or.
I do have the Friends report. Joan is out of town, so she.
That's right. Okay.
Mailed it to me. Okay, we're pleased to share some exciting news. The Friends of the San Diego Public Library has been selected as a lead San Diego Leadership Action Team partner as we work to develop diversity, equity, and inclusion strategies, which we are hopeful will strengthen our organization going forward. Continuing with more good news, One of our longtime volunteers, Mr. E.T. Perry, will celebrate his 100th birthday next week. E.T. served as treasurer of our organization for 25 years, as well as treasurer of the College Orlando Friends chapter for many years. He also assisted with several additional Friends chapters in needs of treasurer expertise at various times over the years. In addition, E.T. served as manager of the monthly book sale and helped out with a variety of needed tasks in the Friends office twice weekly up until the pandemic-related closures. Online book sales continue to bring in some income for the Greater Friends and several of our chapters. Friends chapters have continued to hold both outdoor and indoor book sales, and Friends used bookstores are open at many branch libraries, most still on curtailed schedules relative to pre-pandemic times due to limited volunteer availability. The Friends Board and the President's Advisory Council will meet next Saturday, July 15th, submitted by Joan Reese.
Great. Thank you, Anne. Thank you to Anne and Joan for that wonderful report. Very exciting about being selected by Lead San Diego, and happy triple digits to longtime friend ET. My goodness, we hope to follow in his footsteps, but great report. Thank you so much, Anne. Do we want to roll back to you, Misty, or do you want any other further updates? Do you need Raul or anyone else to?
Yeah, so the next thing on
Okay.
the agenda is the budget. And this is to give you all an idea and get your input on what we will be submitting for budget this year. Just as, you know, Raul's going to do the presentation, but I just want to preface it with saying that we were not given a target number this year, thankfully, of a reduction. What they did ask for us to do was to look for efficiencies and look for operational efficiencies, and to look at 3 programs that we could either reduce or eliminate if there's things that we were doing that, priorities of previous administrations that we no longer wanted to continue, or if there were things that were not successful. So this really is more of an exercise in looking at some of our operational, how we can just streamline and be a little bit more effective. And then we do have some asks, some additions that we'll be asking for. So Raul, if you want to take it away.
Absolutely. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, and thank you so much, Misty, for the introduction. I'll be going through the fiscal year 23 draft budget adjustments. So as Misty mentioned, the reduction proposals include operational efficiencies, the elimination of least critical services, the elimination of least critical programs, all while ensuring that there is no impact to maintain the city's core services and programs and any other regulatory obligations that we may have, excuse me. On the budget addition side, we were asked to limit the additions to operational priorities, regulatory compliance, existing contractual obligations, and to stay within the hiring and recruitment efforts. So that is exactly what we are doing, following the guidelines that have been outlined for us. The proposed reductions, there are 2 reductions that we are looking at. One of them is in the least critical programs area, and the other is in an efficiency. So for the least critical programs, this $106,000 that we are identifying is part of the system-wide $500,000 of programming that has been increased and decreased in the last 5 fiscal years for the library. There are actually a combination of 5 smaller programs that amount to the $106,000. We believe that these could be some items that we propose for reduction. The other one is the efficiency portion of collection development. This is the ordering of materials and AV electronic resources, those types of offerings to patrons. This $193,000 reduction includes 2 librarian positions, which there's a total of 4. So we would be keeping 2 librarian positions, and the other 2 would be reabsorbed into the department but reduced from this section. Along with that is the selections would be outsourced to a vendor. For example, could be Baker and Taylor. They have software. They would be working with the other 2 librarians for the selection process. As far as adjustments are concerned, there are 9 increases that are proposed for fiscal year 23. For the reduction, for the addition of security and janitorial services, this is what we are currently projecting to require if services in these 2 areas are to remain as they are today. So with being a public facing department, we've experienced some budget impacts. And so the security services is simply to align both of these are to align our budget with the current expenditure levels. The next item there is the public PC replacement. This is a technology refresh, if you will, but it is to replace outdated and failing computers for the public. So some of these are about 8 years old now, and they're way past their life cycle. This would be a phased annual increase to replace some of the public use PCs. Next is the addition of materials budget. We're requesting a $250,000. As explained in previous years, the materials budget is used to not only purchase tangible materials, but also electronic ebooks, audiobooks, AV, anything that can really be checked out. And it also pays for some databases that are available to the public. So that increase will help us maintain the services that we have now, especially because as we've experienced through the pandemic, there's a higher demand for e-resources, and those are also more costly. We are also including the addition of window washing. This building, and this is particularly here for the Central Library. There's been a lot of construction around the Central Library, and with window washing not happening in the last 5 or 6 years, the grime and the dust has really accumulated, and it's time to wash the windows. I just wanted to mention really quick about that. The dollar amount is a little high, but we do have some very, due to the architecture of the building, it's really difficult to get. It's not your standard cleaning here. We have a lot of windows and nooks, and in addition, there'll be permitting. There's going to be the use of cranes, and the equipment that we have at the top needs to be inspected and recertified because it hasn't been used in so long. So number 6 is the Do Your Homework at the Library program consolidation of positions. This is a net 1.4 FTE increase. So currently we have 50 hourly positions for a very successful program. However, those 50 hourly positions, we only have 29 positions filled. And we believe that consolidating these positions and making 18 of those positions half-time benefited positions will help us to retain and recruit staff that are needed for this program. Next is the addition of cable and satellite services. This is really to pay for the ongoing cost as we transition from obtaining those services from regular providers like AT&T, Time Warner, cable, et cetera, to Scenic. So Scenic is a network that a variety of universities and public libraries use here in the state of California. So we would have a better connection for the public. We would transition over to fiber versus the cable, and this 54,000 is needed for that. Number 8 is the increase to the public printing contract. This is a contractual obligation that we have that has increased from year to year. And the last one is the addition of the general fund match. We're requesting an addition of $200,000 to really leverage the donations and be able to match everything that we receive. So those are the additions and the reductions that are being proposed for FY23. Any questions?
Raul, I was just going to say, I don't know where this presentation ends up for you or Misty, but I would just suggest that in that in the additions table, because of the window, in case this lives beyond your explanation, perhaps you could include maintenance, or you could reword it so that it more encompasses what that total includes. And then I'd say same with the program positions. If there's some other way to, if this document lives alone, I just think it's important that people understand that, you know, the 515,000 isn't just to wash windows. There's the permitting and there's maintenance or other things. I just, I think it's important to try to communicate that a little bit. If
Agreed. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. We have a very robust justification process that we use, and we have a lot more information, and all of that is going to help us, we believe, obtain this budget. So yes, we do, and we will provide that as backup.
Great suggestions.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. That is.
You can just include a picture of the window, which will actually look like a wall, because it's been so many years since we've washed windows. They'll say, it's completely black. Is that a steel wall?
The breakdown of 7 years of it not having been done. The value.
Gross.
Yeah,
Gross. It
we've
may
done
be
things-
window replacement. It's been so long.
It could be. I mean, you know, a lot of this
Yeah.
will eventually damage the building. So
We've deferred for so long.
right.
This is great, though. Really so well thought out and presented, Raul and Misty.
And I wanted to kind of expand a little bit on, so the program reductions that we are putting forward, Oscar's team did an excellent job. Emily and Joe really looked at this. And what these are programs that we have not really fully implemented yet. So it would be holding off on implementing some of them. It is, you know, it's the winter reading program. It also is my first library card. You know, so it's some that we definitely don't want to, but like my first library card had a lot of upfront costs. So we feel like we could absorb some of the continued costs. Other ways is, you know, we do have matching funds. We could look at different ways to fund these as well. So that is, you know, one of the reasons why those were put up. And then the collection development efficiency is going to be something that remains to, you know, it will require a meet and confer with MEA. That's something that sometimes the city doesn't really like to do things that are that internal. So that will be one of those things that we kind of have to work through, and what the impact is going to be. And then for the addition, hello, Ann. And then for the for the additions, the Raul, if you could go back to that slide, sorry. You know, materials budget and the general fund are things that just really keep us moving forward. that's why we wanted to put those out there. It keeps us moving in the positive direction. The Do Your Homework at the Library program, that has such an attrition with those because they are not benefited positions, and we think that that would really stabilize that workforce as well. So.
Yeah, thank you, Misty. One last thing I wanted to mention here in the reductions is that the collection development portion, the 193 is a net 193 because there's also the addition of the contractual portion, which is $37,500 for that service.
So we would be interested, guys, if you think that this, that these adjustments, really that they're ranked, if you feel like they're ranked correctly, if we should, tweak any of them, or if there's other things to consider. So happy for to get your feedback.
Well, thank you so much. If there aren't any other items, I will stop sharing this. But
I think it looks great. Very, very well thought out. And I'm really relieved that we weren't given a ridiculous number again to try to hit that. I mean, called take down a wall or something. I mean, there was just nothing left to cut. So
right.
Really, again, kudos to the executive team for the creativity and like where do we find something to, reduce, and what can we ask back? It's not a big ask, it's like, this is long deferred. How do we maintain without asking in a way that seems disrespectful of the budget challenges? But I think it's a really well thought out and strategic. It's very strategic. I know by the time we see it, there's been so many things that have been culled over and looked at 17 times backwards. So I don't have any suggestions. Great work. We'll see how it goes moving forward. We've, many of us have been doing this for so many years. We've been a series of how many more difficult years. So just kudos to all of you for continuing to work with what you have and making phenomenal programming and resources available to the community, despite whatever health pandemic we are in or still in, or I think it looks great, Raul. Thank you very much. I don't have any questions. Anyone have any questions for Raul or Misty or the team? Elizabeth F.
Yes, thank you, Wendy. Just wanted to know how we can support you in this process, Misty and Raul.
Yeah, absolutely. So we will do the EBRs, which are the executive budget reviews, will be in the February timeframe, and that's where we present this to Department of Finance and the mayor's team. But again, it is, just your all support. What you could do today is take an action to not to adopt, but to approve the budget additions and reductions that we have put forward. And then that way we can say that, that this all has commission support. But also at the budget hearings, as you know, is just to be there and support us in that as well. So.
And can you have staff keep us updated on that process so it's on our calendars and we can attend?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely, yeah.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion to move to approve the additions and reductions as submitted by Raul, Misty, and team.
So moved.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner Hanson. Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner Caballero Sotelo. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions or any nays? Great. Great work, Raul, Misty, and executive team. Lots of well wishes moving forward, and count on us to be a part of the budget hearings as we've had in the past. And it's really not that hard to call in, to submit your comments in writing. It's a little bit easier than going down there in person right now. So take advantage of being on hold on the phone. It's
Yes.
not that bad.
It's not that bad.
Okay,
Yeah, thank
excellent,
you.
excellent presentation. Thank you, Raul.
Thank you. And then the next thing is just, it'll be short and sweet, but I just wanted to give you an update on where we are with hiring. So we added all of the new positions, eliminated the hourly, or working to eliminate the hourly position and transition those all to benefited. And so this has been, we knew it was going to be a huge work pill for us, a lot of interviews, a lot of hiring, but we have slow and steady been working through it. So we just finished a library assistant 3 and the librarian 2 process. And I'm happy to say that we really have we have filled the majority of the positions. Now, that being said, what happens is we promote from within a lot. So we create new vacancies down in lower classifications. So the next classification that we have are library assistant 1s and 2s. And we have 164 of those positions to fill. So that is a lot of hiring. And those positions are the ones that are crucial for us resuming Sunday hours and really getting all of our locations open. We really thought with the librarian 2s and the library assistant 3s that we'd be able to get that remaining 4 that are still completely closed, reopened. We're still hoping. We've got some that are still going through background checks from outside. And so we hope that when they get on board, we'll be able to do that. But like I said before, COVID is hitting us hard. So we are having a lot of people out at various times, and that's making it challenging. But that's the first priority for us this year, is to get all of our locations open 6 days a week and then to start working on Sundays. We will be going back to Public Safety and Livable Neighborhood Committee in late January or February, probably would be February, to give that committee an update on where we are on hiring. We have also been giving monthly updates to MEA and, kind of letting them know. So right now, the total number of vacant positions that we have are 174. So we have 174 vacancies still. And like I said, 164 of those are going to be the new positions that we're hiring. So we're making some progress. We did have, a couple of months ago, we were 250 something. So we're making some progress, slow and steady, but we will get there eventually. But it's exciting. I'm really hopeful and very optimistic that this will be the way that we get to a more stable, and we'll have to do less hiring processes, and that we'll really be able to keep people on longer term and won't have as much transition.
Well, continued well wishes on the hiring process. And, it's something you don't always think about. It never had occurred to me until you just mentioned the internal promotions, which is great because they know the library, but then you have another hole. So, but keep at it. Keep at it.
That's
Good.
what we did with the library assistant 3 process. I think we had 51 positions, but we really only ended up bringing in about 11 people from outside. So, and all of the rest of them were just internal promotions. So it's great. We want to promote from within. But yeah, it's definitely robbing Peter to pay Paul. So yeah.
Good. Well, thank you for that update, Misty. It's, slowly chipping away. And certainly, the COVID staffing shortages are hitting everyone and everywhere. So it's no surprise that it's hitting us as well. But thanks for keeping on the staff that is there. Good. Anything else, Misty, or any questions for Misty? Great report. Thank you so much. Is there any commissioner comment? All right. I will I will honor any other business or new business. Okay, well, friendly reminder again, the State of the City on the 12th with the watch party starting prior to that. Our next monthly meeting will be on February 2nd. So if we don't see you at the State of the City, we will see you on the 2nd. Welcome again to Jennifer, joining, not new to the family, she's been part of the family, but great to see you here. Thank you all for your reports and presentations, and have a great rest of your day. Stay happy and healthy. And thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you all. Take care.